How to make a chart in Google Sheets. You're going to first select the data and insert chart. Now it's going to kick out an automated basic graph that isn't good at communicating anything. So go to customize. I'm going to go through from top to bottom, starting with the chart style. I am going to keep the chart style because it is time, so I'm going to use a line. But if you wanted to change that to something else, you can. Here is also where you're going to want to change the font. It's easiest here rather than later because then you have to go through and choose every single one, and that is just very time consuming. So my suggestion here is to change whatever font you want. I'm going to do Georgia. I am going to change the chart border color, and I will show you what it looks like to have a color in the background, but I wouldn't suggest having one unless you had a very specific reason. Otherwise, I'm going to leave that white. Okay, so my chart style is good. I'm going to go to chart titles. Okay, the title that it gave me is just all the titles of the columns, but I'm going to do rate of mitosis. So my data for this example is cells going through mitosis in an onion root. Okay, 12 or 20 is auto for the title. If you want to go any bigger, go 24 or go smaller. The key thing here is this is where you can make it bold, where you can italicize it, or I always like to align it in the center. And then colors. You have a wide array of colors to pick from, and then there's the standard. If you are presenting this to a larger group or trying to make a professional board, I would really suggest staying away from the standard colors. You can click on custom here, and then you can choose a hex code, and hex codes are super easy to get. You can get them from Pinterest, you can get them from wherever, and then you're just going to type those in. So let's say I want like a blue color. I am going to put in my hex code, which I chose from a palette, okay? And it was super, super easy on Pinterest. So you can just do hex palettes, and you'll find designers who have made lots of very appealing and looking groups of colors. Okay, and then I'm going to add a chart subtitle. You don't always need this, but because this would be a lab group, I'm going to label it lab group 1. And then I'm also going to center that, and I'm going to italicize. So I just like that better. But I don't like the color, but I'm just going to make that black. Size, it's usually going to be 12 point size as auto in any subgroups or subcategories. But I'm actually going to make it a little bit larger, 16. I think it's easier to read. Then I'm going to go through the horizontal axis. So down here, the time. I'm going to shorten this to HR. And then I'm going to increase the text from 12 to 14 to make it a little bit bigger. You could bold it as well to make it pop. And I'm going to change it and add a number of cells on the other side. Keep the font. Okay. I'm going to increase the size to match the other one. I'm going to make it bold as well. Then lastly, I'm done with the titles. I'm going to go to series, and the series is going to be each of these groups. Now I'm going to change them one by one. You can start off by applying to all. So if I want to apply to all, I'm going to make this, let's see, right now it's at 2 thickness. You could go to 4, and then we'll change all at once. So if you want to do anything like where you want to change all of them, I would suggest doing that to apply all. But then if you want to change the color, you need to click on the individual one. So if I look at prophase, one of the phases of mitosis, I'm going to change the color here, and that's where I'm going to go to custom and put in whatever hex code I found to start to choose some appealing colors. Now, if you don't want to select over here, You can always select from the chart itself, and that's a really nice feature of Google Sheets, is that you can just click on it and select. Okay, whoops. And I'm just going for more of a springtime palette. But you can see how different it is. Than the normal preset. Okay, and that's why I don't suggest using that. Unless you're doing something quick that you're going to delete and it doesn't really matter. I'll do my last one. Okay, so the chart looks nice. I like those colors. So I'm going to get out of series. I'm done with the series. And now I'm going to go to legend. So I'm going to go to the position. I like to put the color correlation at the bottom because I just think it looks clean that way. And you can actually drag and move it to center it. Again, you have the same capabilities. If you want to italicize it, you can. If you want to change the color, I'm just going to make sure it's black. And I'm going to make sure it's 12. I don't want anything less than 12-point font. Otherwise, the legend is fine. Okay, if you do none, it's like that. You could do the left like this, but I really like the bottom. I like it to be centered. Okay, so now I'm going to go to horizontal axis. And again, the horizontal is going to be my time. Here, if I wanted to change the colors of any of these, I can. It's already black. I'm going to show you if I wanted to change it to red. It's going to change those. I don't usually mess with the numbers color like that. If I wanted to reverse it for some reason, I could. And then if I wanted to change the min and max, I could. So if I'm not going to because it was time, but if you wanted to, you could. So I'm actually going to leave this alone and go to the vertical axis. So that would be the ones on the side. If you wanted to, you could change again the boldness, or you could italicize it. I don't mind it being bold. If I do that to the other one, I'm going to do it to this one as well. If you're going to print it or have it on the board, you can always do that if you need something that's easier to read. I am going to change the min and the max because I think the minimum is 0. That's fine. But I don't like how it stops at 50 when I have a number that's above that. So I'm going to go 55 to give it a little bit more room, just because it does go just a 50, and I think it looks cleaner having it that way. Next, I'm going to go to the grid lines and ticks. And this is where you can add ones. So you have options for horizontal axis and vertical axis. You can change the spacing. So you can increase it or decrease it. So if I am every 2 here, I can do every 3. Okay, or if I have every 2, or I can just do every 1. So that then technically it's easier for my reader to see, oh, that's 1 minute, that's 3 minutes. That's just an option to do the tick stuff. You can go with whatever you want. You can also change the color of those lines if you wanted to. I don't know if that's usually necessary. I usually leave that at auto, but you have the ability to add more if you feel like that makes the graph easier to read and understand. So in the end, this is what my graph looks like. I think it looks clean. I like the colors. If I really wanted to, I could mess more with the border. If I wanted to thicken that border, I could. Otherwise, I like it the way it is. So this is an easy way to make it an attractive looking graph on Google Sheets. Thanks.